I don't know how long my creative work will take. This is probably something that you've never heard before, but this is how you know how to schedule time that you previously have taken anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour and a half to do. You just decide. Okay? You're going to develop the skill of just deciding how long something's going to take you. And once you put it on that schedule, you're going to make it happen in that time. And I promise you, you'll be surprised with how powerful your brain is. Your brain is a machine. Your brain really wants to do its job right. And if you say, and you really tell your brain, like at the end of this, I have to turn it in whatever results I have at the end of this 30 minutes because I'm moving on to the next thing, right? It's not like you gave yourself room. You're like, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that and I'm going to do that. It's like, no, this result will be achieved by now. And then I'm starting on this next thing. And then that result will be achieved. You just have to get it done. You're way less likely to pick up your phone if your friend calls. Like today, actually, I have a friend that I've been trying to get in touch with and we've been going back and forth. She called like 3 times, but I was like, crunch time. I got to prep 4 podcasts that I'm recording later with Danny. And you better believe that I'm going to get this done right now. So I don't have time to pick up. If I didn't have a schedule, I guarantee you I would have previously in my previous life picked up that phone call. Right. And I know I'm speaking to you right now and you might feel very triggered by this episode because this might be how you are showing up currently, but it's not who you are. Okay. Being creative, being spontaneous, being free spirited is just one way to describe how you're showing up. But you can also be creative and free spirited within structure. How do I know? Because I do it every day. Super fun. Okay. So this is where you're going to get comfortable with done being better than perfect. Ooh, I say my coach calls it B- work. And she's like, get used to B- work, like master B- work. And like a lot of people hate that term. They're like, no, because they're like their identity is wrapped up in being like an A student. But that's not how life works, especially not in the entrepreneurial space, right? You got to get shit done, okay? And in order to do that, you need to be willing to put deadlines on things. This might be very uncomfortable for you, but I promise this type of willingness to adhere to deadlines is going to train your brain to create magic in less time. Also, you'll produce some average work and some below average work, but lots of it, and amidst the creation of all of that average work, is going to be gems of genius that are going to emerge. And you can't find those gems of genius. They'll be way fewer and far between when you're producing 1/10 of the work, right? This scheduling is going to allow you to feel like you can do 10 times more things in actually less time. All right. The pioneers that we recognize for their masterpieces have churned out 100 times more forgettable work than the ones that we remember. Okay. All right. So those are the myth busting, but these are my final tips for you. And then I'll bid you adieu so that you can go and log on to what'shappening.com and schedule your mini sessions so that you can freaking learn Hapster scheduling because it is life-changing. But here are your tips for you creatives. Number 1, blackout transition time. I know for me, like my brain, when it's unwinding from one thing that I'm doing to go to the next thing, like my brain needs to like come with me. Like my body will go, but like my brain needs to come with me. So I need a little bit of time to like go and get some water and do this. So I block 15 minutes now as a policy in between every single thing that I do. I used to think that I couldn't do that because I had hour-long sessions. And then I was like, oh, now I'm efficient at coaching. I'm going to move my coaching calls to 45 minutes long. And lo and behold, I became more efficient in getting people results in 45 minutes. And I had transition time in 15 minutes. And it has been life-changing for both my clients and me. Okay. Number 2 is schedule your most inspiring activities right before your creative work time. This might seem obvious, but if you're so used to like just having a general to-do list and not a schedule, you might not be doing things in an order that's setting your brain up to be really efficient in your creative time. So for me, my inspiring activities that like help my brain be the best primed for creative work are reading, working out, visualizing. I have a visualization practice that I do in the morning, driving and showering. I think driving and showering because I am not plugged into any screens. So my brain is like free to fully like have all the thoughts come to it. And usually also right before I fall asleep. So annoying, but got to keep a pen and paper next to your bed. So, okay. Yeah. The is when I make sure that I am setting myself up for creative time. Third tip is schedule in rest and leisure to accommodate for decision fatigue. Okay. If you're just scheduling your work and you're not scheduling in fun, your brain is going to hate scheduling. That happens kind of in the beginning. People are like overzealous and they're like, great, I'm going to schedule all the things and I'm going to have the best week ever. And I'm like, but wait, when are you going to pee? Like there's no time for you to like rest at all in here. And so that's okay. It's experimental. It's trial and error. You'll get better and better at it, but you need to schedule in rest and leisure so that your calendar really matches your core values. You're living the life that seems like a life you want to show up to. If you look at your schedule and you're like, hate this sounds terrible, change it. Your life is up to you. Okay. And then finally, decide that you're a person who finds freedom in the scheduling of your life.